Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. In this installment, I will be building the final stage, stage 12, of the Jaguar XKE from Agora models. Join me, will you? And welcome back. I'm super excited to be at this final pack 12, completing the Jaguar XKE. I'll be completing 10 stages, stage 91 through 100. Fantastic build, and I'm having a blast doing this. If you haven't done so already, head over to Agora Models and check out their site. Check out this build and sign up for it. It's a fantastic build, and I had a blast building it. There's some exciting news happening with Agora models for 2023. They're coming out with a brand new car, and that would be the Corvette from 1963. It's fantastic, and here's a preview of it. And there you go. Fantastic, right? So head over to Agora Models and subscribe to this and sign up for the Corvette from 1963. With that, let's get started on stage 91. So let's review everything we've completed up till stage 12. So here is the front part of the car and the back part of the car, main body sections, and they look fantastic. Here's the interior and the spare tire along with the dashboard, fuel tank, luggage rack, and the nice little tool to open up your hood and deck lid after it's built. Very nice there. And here are the doors, and they are very nice also. And here's the engine compartment and the rear chassis. Now it's time to put all this together. Let's look at all the parts that came with this pack 12. And here's stage 91, which is attaching the driver's door and trim. Stage 92, also attaching the passenger's door, the engine, and the dashboard. Stage 93, fitting the floor with the electrical circuit board. Stage 94, securing the tarpaulin. Stage 95, installing the gear shift and left rear lights. Stage 96, connecting the wiring, right rear light, fuel tank, and bonnet. Stage 97, attaching the front bumper and underside. Stage 98, the rear end panel. Stage 99, fitting the rear end panel. Stage 100, installing the exhaust pipes. Let's get started on stage 91. And here's the parts for stage 91. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. And here's a close-up. This is the right body door trim and made of plastic, and received 3 AM08 screws. And welcome back. Finally, we're going to complete this build. It's been a lot of fun so far, and it's a beautiful car. So we are on stage 91, and we're going to need to bring over the door that we assembled. This would be the driver's door or the right-hand door, and that's going to get mounted to the body here next. We're going to put the trim in first. So the trim simply goes down just like that, where you want to have your holes lined up for the door, and you can see that there. Okay, and so if you noticed, I did put a towel down because I don't want to scratch the finish. And I'm going to take my door here, and that's going to insert. You can see how that is. It's going to insert straight down on the body. Just like that. And we're going to put 2 AM08 screws. You can just see it there. These are chrome screws, very nice. I did pre-lubricate the door hinge. Another thing that you can do is you can get a stubby screwdriver like this, and this is a PH1 screwdriver, and that will help you get into tight areas such as this. In this case, that's what this is, and we'll use that. And that's good. And the door opens and closes. So what I want to do is I'm going to tape the door shut because I don't want it to keep opening and closing when we do the next stage. But that's all we do in this stage for stage 91. So let's head over and do stage 92. I'll be right back. And welcome back. Here are the parts for stage 92, and we're going to do just about the same thing as we did on the driver's door to the passenger door, plus a few other things. So let me take these out and I'll be right back. And here's a close-up of the parts. This is the door trim. It's made of plastic just like before, and we do have these bushings here that are made of a rubber-like material, AM01, AM05, and AM08. Okay, so just like before, we're going to install this door trim, and we're going to install the passenger door, or the left door, and get everything to line up here, just like that. And you can just see it there. Okay, you can see it in the side camera. There we go. Turn this around where I can see it better. I'm going to go ahead and take and put the door in. Remember, it mounts straight down on the door, just like that. That is good there. Turn it over. AM08 screws go into this. 2 of these go in. That's good there. And the door opens and closes. I'm going to go ahead and tape it shut like I did this door here. Now we're going to mount the engine section to the rear body, so I'll be right back with those parts. Next we're going to mount up the engine section to the rear body section, and there's 4 mounting points that will go underneath the main body here. If I turn it over, you can see where those are. Right there. And remember, when I put screws into metal, you need to lubricate the holes. You're really going to help yourself out, and I use Vaseline for that. So I have already lubricated the holes for this. Now, I don't want the entire weight of this car going down on the windshield. They want you to flip this over and put it on there like that, which I don't really want to do. Initially, we will flip it over, let it rest, flip this over, let that rest a little bit, and then we're going to put that in place just like that. I'm going to support the bottom of it while I put these screws in. Put in 4 AM01 screws, and the last one. Last one in. There we go. And that's what they look like right there. All 4 are in. We also have to put screws in right here on each side for the main body attachment. So I almost forgot this. Okay. And that's nice and tight there. Next, we're going to be installing a couple of screws underneath the windshield with these grommets, so we need to cut those off. Let's turn this over. Once again, I don't want the windshield to make contact with the workbench. I'll put the grommet in place, just like that. And 2 of these AM05s. And the last one. And that's good there. And next I need to install the dashboard underneath the car here. So once again, we need to turn this over, and I need to support the back end while this goes in place. At the same time I'm installing this, I need to align this to the steering shaft that's mounted here on the front end over here on this side. So we'll do that. And 2 mounting holes are right there. We'll put this into the shaft first. Let's see how this looks first. Okay, so the flat end needs to be facing up. Make sure my wiring is out of the way also. So I got the shaft aligned with the steering wheel. That looks good there. Next we're going to put in 2 screws, one here and one on the other side. And the last one. That looks good there. And that's tight there. Very good. So the dash is installed now. Turn it over. We'll have a look. And that completes stage 92. And we did a lot here. We put on the passenger door, the left door there. We also mounted the engine to the rear part of the car. And we also mounted the dashboard. And that looks great. So let's head over and continue with this to stage 93. And here's the parts pack for stage 93. And this time we received the circuit board and all the wiring for our lights and such. So let me take these out and we'll get a closer look. And here's a close-up. Here's the circuit board itself. And you want to be careful when you handle this. Just hold it by the edges. It is susceptible to static electricity. And wiring. Wires 01, 02, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 actually has 2 leads coming off of it. AGO2 and AM15 screws. And here's a close-up of the board. And flip it over, you can see the back side here. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install wires number 1, number 2, and number 3. So number 1 is actually right here, and it says on the side number 1. Number 2 is this one right here, and number 3 on the side right there. So we'll take number 1 and we'll insert that. There's number 1, number 2, and lastly number 3. There we go. Next we go ahead and put in wires number 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 goes in next. 4. And 5. And on the other side is number 6. The other side, number 7. There we go. All the wires are hooked up. Now we'll bring over the interior. We're going to mount this to the interior. So here's our interior. We'll flip this over and we're going to mount this right over here on the left. We're going to make it so that all our wiring is facing forward, the 4 wires, and this is simply going to go down just like that. AGO2 screws go into this. You can kind of see that. Leave it just a little loose so we can get the other one started. That's down, and that's down. It's just snug, and that's how that looks there. Now we need to mount this interior under the car. I'll be right back. Next, we're bringing over the interior, and I'm supporting the car from underneath so I don't have all that pressure on the windshield. And it's going to insert down just like that up front, where the 2 attachment points up front are meeting there. And then the back, you kind of lift up on it and move it down below. There we go. Now we're going to put 4 screws in back here. Another one goes right here. In the back corner. And this one right here. And one more on this side. Gonna do one up front, right here. Remember, these are AM 15 screws. I'll go ahead and do the other side, and I'll be right back. And all the screws are in. We had 4 put in on this side, 4 on that side, and then 2 on this side. And that's all we do for stage 93. The interior is installed. It looks fantastic. Let's go ahead and head over and do stage 94. Here's parts pack for stage 94, and this is the tarpaulin. I'll go ahead and take this out. We'll get a closer look. Here's a close-up of that part. Of course, this is the cover for the hardtop, and this model doesn't actually come with a hardtop, but they give us a cover to simulate that. And the screws we received also are the AGO3 screws. And we're going to be putting in 2 screws from underneath the car. Looks like 3 screws from underneath the car to hold this in place. So I'll be right back. And here's the tarpaulin here, and that's going to slot down in here. And it looks like it's just 2 screws, 1 on each side. The middle one doesn't take a screw, so we'll slot that in just like that. And we'll turn this over, once again protecting the windshield. And first screw goes in right here on the side. AGO3. That's good there. Same with the other side. And that's good. And that's how that looks there. And that's all we do with stage 94. Let's start on stage 95 next. And here's parts pack for stage 95. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. Here's a close-up of those parts. This is the gear shaft, and that is made of plastic. And the front left bumper. The rear left tail light. And this is the reflector lens for the rear left assembly. And AGO4 screws. And first thing we do, we'll put the reflector into the taillight assembly. Now it does have a D shape opening there, so we need to line that up with that. And just like that, presses fit down, presses down. There we go. And that looks good there. And here's our taillight assembly. You can see there's a cutout for the top part, so that simply just slides into there like that. We'll turn this over, and we're going to put that AGO4 screw into this. And that's nice and snug. That's good there. Next we'll put our drive shaft in, and that simply goes into rear of the transmission. And once again, 2 AGO4 screws go into this, and that's good there. And that's all we do with stage 95. We'll be doing stage 96 next. This is the front bumper that'll go on a little bit later. So let's do 96. And here's a parts pack for stage 96. We have our lights, wiring for the lights, front bumper again, another tail light, some screws. So I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. And here's a close-up. Here are our LED lights. We have 4 of them here. We have some tape strips. There's like 3 or 4 there. There's 4. We have these brackets for the bonnet mounting plate, and they are made of metal. We also have the right taillight, reflector, and the right bumper. AGO4, AGO6, and AM 15 screws. And here's our tail light. Once again, we'll put the reflector in it. It does have a D-shaped hole, so we need to make sure it lines up with that. Just like that. Now we need to mount this to the car, just like we did before. We already seen that, so I'm going to show you the finished product. And there's the screw installed there, and there's the tail light. And next we're going to mount the hood or the bonnet to the body. And we have these mounting plates, the left one and the right one. You can see they're clearly marked. And next I'm going to support the car with this piece of styrofoam that I've had for a while. I've been using this actually with the Ecto-1 Ghostbusters build. But this is perfect for this. That way we can keep the windshield off the workbench and show you how that works. I'll move this back a little bit here. I'm going to put a towel right there. Bring the car over, and we want to protect the windshield. So this is going to lay down just like that, and then we can hook up all our wiring and such. And we simply take the cover off for the battery access, and then we put in, I think we put in 3 LR44 batteries. Here you go. And there they are, installed. Put the cover back on. Next we'll put the bonnet on, and here's the bonnet itself. We need to introduce the wiring through the chassis, and basically the left side wiring for the headlights, they go through 2 of the beams. And it goes behind the mudguard, mud splash, through those 2 beams. One there, and one there. Same with the other side, just like that. Next, we take and bring the bonnet up, and we want to slide it in, just like that. Left side goes over here, and the right side goes over here. AM15 screws go into this, and the last screw. And there you go, the hood is installed. Next I take wire number 8 and we plug it into the circuit board. That's good there. And we take wire number 10 and we plug that into the circuit board. That's good there. And we take wire number 6. The instructions say 9, but it's really 6. We plug that into number 6 in the circuit board. That's good. Now we take wire number 1 and we plug that to number 1 coming off the circuit board. That's this right here. And that's good. Now we take wire number 10, which is the LED, that's going to go into the left rear tail light. We take wire number 10 and we put that on the inside location, just like this. take wire number 6, and that goes on the outside location, just like that. Wire number 8, and wire number 8 goes on the inside location. Once again, wire number 6 goes on the outside location. Perfect. All the wires are all the LEDs themselves are installed, both left and right. Now we want to run our wires between these points here. Right there, right there, right there, and right there. I'm just going to use some Scotch tape. There, there. I'll be right back and I'll show you the completed product. Next we have to bundle up all the wires, and we need to hook them all together. So we need to hook up number 3, 4, 2, 7, 5, 6 to the other leads that are coming from the front of the car. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay, all the wires are connected. Now we want to bundle them all up together here and put them in the tunnel here in the middle. Okay, now we want to make sure that we leave that mounting point right there clear for screw. Take my tape and put that in like that. Put that down. Right there. Good. Okay, so they're all secured out of the way. Now we have to bring over our gas tank and we'll install that next. So I've already completed all the wiring, and I just wanted to show you how I ran my wires from the headlights and the marker light. I ran it behind the shock, and you can kind of see with the wire running there. I didn't want to run it over or above all that. I wanted to run it behind it, and it comes out there. Leave yourself some slack here, because the hood, when you open the hood, you want, it's gonna, these wires here need to have some slack there so they don't pull out. And of course I did this to both sides. Also, when securing all your wire, that's what it looks like there. I just use Scotch tape to hold it down. If you follow the instructions, you'll be fine. And you follow how you first insert the first set of wires onto the circuit board, that's the way it needs to be done, and you shouldn't have any issues. Also, I ran some tulip to light block where the LED wires go into, and that's this right here. It's a very thick acrylic paint. You can see where I ran the wires behind the shock and in between the suspension, and plenty of slack here. Next, we'll bring over the gas tank half, and that's this right here. That's going to mount down on those 2 points, just like that. 2 AGO 6 screws are going to hold it in. There you go. It's tight. Now we'll go ahead and put on the cover. Two more AGO 6 screws go into that, and 2. And that's on, nice and secure. And we have completed all the wiring underneath. Installed the gas tank, secured everything out of the way. Flip this over. We got the hood installed now. You can see how that goes. So before we proceed any further, we need to do a light check, make sure all the wiring is correct, making sure the headlights and the tail lights and the hazard lights are all working correctly. And that's why we put the batteries on earlier, and the batteries are installed earlier. So we need to go ahead and turn on that switch right there. And both headlights work. And both parking lights and the tail lights work. They should be red. Now let's check out the hazards. Push on the switch on the dash. Should get 5 flashes out of it. Now I'll test out the brake lights. And they work. Very good there. And that completes stage 96. We have the hood fully installed, and that looks fantastic there. And all the wiring and all the lights are done. So with 96 complete, let's head over and do 97. And here's the parts pack for stage 97. I'll take this out and we'll get a closer look. And this is the bottom nose section of the Jaguar. It is made of plastic. Very nice there. And the screws we received are the AM01, AG07, AG06, and very tiny AG09 screws. So we're going to install the motif bar on the front bumpers, and they'll go in between, but the round part is the top of the bumper, the flat is the bottom. And the motif itself, I went ahead and looked at it under a magnifying lens, found out the top of it is right here, and I put a mark on the back to let me know where the top is. So very tiny screws go into this. AG09 screw. Rest that in there just like that. Put our tiny screw into it. And that's done there. Now we're going to slot this into the bottom front section of the car. There and right there. Four AG02 screws go into this. Perfect. And that's how that looks there. Large round on top, flat on the bottom. Now I'll bring the car over and we'll install this on the car. So I'll bring over the bottom of the car, nose section, and this will press fit in place. There's 4 spots, here, 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 and here. And that is in place. And we'll get a beauty shot of that here in a little bit. Now we're going to install the subframe. It goes right here. Make sure our points here are clear. For the subframe, it's going to screw down in, looks like 10 places along here. Here it is right here. And just make sure everything's clear out of the way, which it looks like. And I'm going to lay this down. So AG06 screws go into this, and AM01 screws go up here. AG06 goes in. We have a couple of screws that go in. One here and one there. And then two more here on the ends. And that's good there. And two more to go. AM01 screws go up there. They are metal. And last one. So the whole subframe is installed now at this point, and that's why it was important we did our light check, because all our wires are underneath all this. We don't want to have to take that all apart. And that's all we do for stage 97. We did a lot here, and it's looking beautiful. So let's move over and start on stage 98. And here's the parts pack for stage 98, which is the underside of the rear of the car. I'll take this out and we'll get a closer look. And here's the rear end panel, and that's very nice there. It's made of metal. Very cool. And we received also a couple of screw covers, and they'll insert in here when we put the screws in. So we don't actually do anything in this stage. So let's go ahead and head over and start building stage 99. Here's a parts pack for stage 99, where we're going to start installing all these components on that rear panel we just looked at in 98. Let me take these out and we'll get a closer look. And here's a close-up of those parts. We received two rear bumpers. That's these right here. They're made of plastic. The reversing lamp with lens. License plate lights. There's two each. Of course, the license plate. Tank sump. And the spare wheel clamp. AG03 and AM15. And first thing we do is we install the lens on the reversing lamp. It's got two alignment pins, and just press fits just like that. We're going to install that underneath the car. We'll bring that over. This is the back end of the car here where the license plate goes, and this is going to go straight down just like that. I'm going to put an AG03 on the other side. That's good there. That's how that looks there. Next, we're going to install this tank sump, and that's going to go right here. And it is keyed. It's got a flat edge against the flat edge there. Same thing, AG03 goes on the back side. And that's how that looks there. Next, we'll go ahead and put the license plate in. So we need to make sure we orient this the correct way. And it really only goes in one way. See the tabs here and how they line up with the car. So we flip it over and it goes down just like that. Two AG03s go on the back. That's good. And that's how that looks there. Looks great. Now we put in these license plate lights, and that's this right here. It's going to go into this slot here, flat edge against the body of the car, and there they are installed. Looks very good. Next we install the bumpers, and remember the round part goes on top, flat on the bottom. So obviously it needs to go just like that on the car. If you can see that, flip it over. AM15s go into this. And that one goes in. One, and I'll tighten down the other one. That's good there. Do the other side. And that's good there. That's how that looks there. Both bumpers are on. Looks great. Now we're going to install the spare wheel on the back side, and that's going to go right there. There's a little pin, and we take our wheel and we're going to flip it over upside down, and that's going to go just like that, and this pin is going to lock it in. I'm going to go ahead and super glue it. And insert. That in there, press it down. Perfect. And we'll let that dry. Now I need to bring the car over so we can install this underneath the car. Okay, so the rear end is ready to go. The glue is set on my hold down bracket for the spare tire. Now if you'll notice, there's a lip here on the front. That lip is going to go over this lip right here on the back of the car, and just like that. It's that simple. And we will put our screws in. 2 AM15 screws go into this. Here's one. And there's the other, nice and secure. Lastly, we put in these plugs, and we just need to make sure we put in the right one. There is a keyway on them. That one there. And that one right there. Perfect. And the bottom is fully installed. So that's all we do in this stage. Stage 99 is complete. Let's go ahead and go to the last stage, stage 100. I'll be right back. Here's the parts pack for the final stage for the Jaguar, stage 100. Looks like the exhaust system. I'll take this out and I'll be right back. Here's the parts that were in the bag, and this is the exhaust system. Everything here is made of plastic. Very nice chrome. And the exhaust tubes themselves coming off the exhaust manifold, AGO2 and AGO3. First off, we go ahead and assemble the exhaust manifold here. And these pipes are going on top of these, just like that. And 2 AgO2 screws go into this. And the last one, just want to do it snug. And that's good there. And that's how that looks. Now we'll bring the car over and we'll get this installed. And here's the exhaust manifold. We're going to mount that right on the subframe in the back of the car. We have 2 points here that this mounts to. 2 AgO2s go here, and 1 AMO3 goes in the back. So an insert there. Press that down, and everything's in place. Those are in place there. AMO3. Now we got 2 pipes we need to put in, 2 exhaust pipes, and that's going to be a little bit more in front here. First one, and they mount to the bottom of the exhaust manifold. Just like that. And just like that. And that's how they look there. Okay, I'll be right back and wrap this up. And the last thing I want to do is install the knockoffs off the wheels. I put these in safekeeping. Remember, these are magnetized, so they're going to go all the way around, all 4 points. Another item that wasn't talked about in the instructions was installing the luggage rack. And the luggage rack has pins underneath there. And what they wanted you to do, and you probably wanted to do this before you even started assembling this section, was drill out the holes for that. And there are actually locator holes underneath where you can get your drill bit and drill it out. I don't want to drill it out, so my plan is to cut these off and put a couple of rare earth magnets in there, and then that way it will simply stay down with magnets. So I'm not going to show that in this video. I will make a separate video on how that is done. That way you can do that for yourself if you like. Next, we have these panels we need to install inside the boot area, and these hide the spare wheel. Very nice tool here, by the way. First one slides in. That's how that looks there. And as you can tell, I did carpet this car. I did the carpeting myself. I didn't use a kit or anything like that. So of course the next one goes in just like that. And that's how that looks there. Perfect. And I do love this tool. Great job, Agora. Fantastic. And that completes Stage 100, and it was fantastic to build this. I am fully complete with this build, except for, like I said earlier, I'm gonna install the luggage rack. I'm gonna use earth magnets for that, but it's fantastic. Here's the beauty shot of the nose. And we know the lights all work. I did that light test earlier. I will turn them on when we do the beauty shots of the entire car here in a little bit, but this is fantastic. I love how the detail on the engine is fantastic and second to none. I mean, it looks fantastic there. We have a lot going on with the interior, and that looks great there too. The wheels are fantastic, the wire wheels, the doors open and close just fine. I mean, this was a fantastic build. As far as putting it together at the end, when it was the easiest thing I've done so far with all these cars I've been building. So this is fantastic. I just love the details here, even with the windshield wipers and such. It's great. Here's a view of the engine again. I think that looks fantastic. Notice how my wiring is not running over. It's hidden behind the suspension for the lights. And that's what you want to do. I showed you how to do that earlier. Now, here's the interior. Fantastic there. You can see the carpets I put in. I made a separate video on how to do the carpets, and that's fantastic there. Wonderful. Looking out the dash. Lower this down. Give us a view of the car out the front windshield. Fantastic. And like I said, the doors open and close. There's our power switch to turn on the lights. The windows go up and down. And that's great. The wire wheels. That was the biggest challenge of this build, but well worth it. And I did make a separate video on how to do the wheels, so you can find that. And I'll put links down below for all this. Here's beauty shot from behind. Fantastic. Love it. The exhaust system, everything on this. And the fuel filler port right there. That's how that looks. And we'll look inside the trunk. There we go, with all the covers installed. And a close-up of the carpets. That's how that looks. But fantastic. I enjoyed this immensely. So I'll be back with some beauty shots. Let me get this cleaned up a bit. We'll put it on the rotisserie and give you some wonderful shots of this car. I'll be right back. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the beauty shots that I just provided for you for this car. Let me show you just how large this car is. You know, it's hard to show that in that video that I just filmed, but here it is. It's a real beauty. Wonderful. And like I was saying earlier, this was probably the easiest car I built. The only drawback was the wheels. They were a little bit harder to build, but like I said earlier, I did make a video up on how to assemble those spoked wheels. But it's been a real pleasure and a real joy building this car. I would like to thank Agora Models for sending me this sample to build on my channel. And I really do hope that my build helps you out. So, you know, if you think it helps you out and you like my content, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Now, as far as Agora Models goes, you know, head over there because they're going to coming out with some brand new releases next year. One of them is the Transformers, the Optimus Prime, I believe that's what it is. And also they just announced a 1963 Corvette. And that's the first time that type of car has been available in this scale, so it's fantastic there. Remember, you can subscribe to this build from the very first pack, or you can actually buy the entire series and have it ready for building. So with that, thank you for being patient with me in this build. I had to move houses twice within this year, and it's been a long haul and a long process. Even for this final pack, pack 12, it's taken me 4 days to film and to edit this video, and I apologize for it being so long, but I wanted to give you all the details that I could to help you have a successful build at the very end of this build. So with that, happy modeling everybody, and take care.